Honorés distingués, chers amis, je suis aussi très honoré d'être ici et de participer dans la cause commune qui nous rassemble aujourd'hui. La lutte contre la haine, contre le racisme, contre le crime de crimes, contre le génocide. We meet today on the anniversary, 22nd anniversary of the beginning of the genocidal onslaught on April 7th, 1994. What makes the Rwandan genocide so unspeakable is not only the horror of the genocide itself. That would be bad enough. What makes it so unspeakable is that this genocide was preventable. Nobody can say that we did not know. We knew, but we did not act. And so some 8 years ago, I was pleased when the Canadian Parliament adopted my motion to set aside a national day of reflection on the prevention of genocide, April 7th. But what that resolution asked us to do was not only to remember and learn the lessons of the genocide, but to act on those lessons. And so let me share very quickly some of those lessons and the action that must be taken. The first lesson is the importance of remembrance itself, le devoir de mémoire, because the murder of 1 million Rwandans, mostly Tutsis, in 3 months is not just an abstract statistic. As we say at moments of remembrance, unto each person there is a name. Each person had an identity. Each person was a universe. And as we know from scriptures and the like, if you save a single life, it is as if you have saved an entire universe. But if you kill a single person, it is as if you have killed an entire universe. And so the first lesson, that we are each, wherever we are, the guarantors of each other's destiny. The second lesson is that the Rwandan genocide occurred not simply because of the horrific machinery of death, but because of state-sanctioned incitement to hate and to genocide. This dehumanizing, this demonizing of the other, this referring at the time of Rwandan Tutsis as Inyenzi, as cockroaches, this is where it all began. As the Supreme Court of Canada said in the Mugesera case, at the time that I was Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada, as it said in an important principle and precedent for all of humanity, it said that the very incitement to genocide constitutes the crime in and of itself, whether or not the acts of genocide followed. And so, in effect, the crimes began before 1994, before April 7th, 1994, in the state-sanctioned incitement to genocide. A third lesson, and that is the dangers of indifferent and inaction in the face of mass atrocity and genocide. Let there be no mistake about it. While the UN Security Council and the international community dithered and delayed, Rwandans were being murdered. And so the lesson here, our responsibility to protect. A fourth lesson, and moving to a close, is the danger of impunity. Just as the 20th century was the age of racism and bigotry, so was it the age of impunity. And just as we have to combat racism and genocidal incitement, so must we bring the war criminals to justice. And that is why I initiated the first ever prosecution under the War Crimes and Crimes Against Humanity Act against Desiree Munienza for his war crimes and crimes against humanity in the Rwandan genocide. A fifth lesson is the dangers of the powerlessness of the vulnerable and the vulnerability of the powerless. The first of those assaulted in the Rwandan genocide were the women who were raped, the children who were murdered, the slaughter of the innocents. And so it's always our responsibility to ensure that the test of a just society is how it protects its most vulnerable amongst it, and that is particularly in cases of mass atrocity and the crime of crimes, genocide. We must also remember two things: the danger of genocide denial, the denial of the genocide that took place in Rwanda, and so the importance of these gatherings of remembrance, and the remembrance also of the rescuers, those who showed how there was a choice, how there was the range of human opportunity that we all have to protect the vulnerable, to protect the innocent. And so let us today remember those heroes in the Rwandan genocide, those rescuers, including our own General Romeo Dallaire. Tragically, he was not given the assistance that he called for from the United Nations. Had he been given that assistance, close to 1 million Rwandans could have been saved. And so may this gathering today be not only an act of remembrance, which it is, but may it always be a remembrance to act, which it must be. Merci.